Hotels and restaurants, core sectors of the service industry reliant on domestic demand, have been mired in a record 22-month recession, according to data from Statistics Korea.
통계청 자료에 따르면 대표적인 서비스 내수 업종으로 꼽히는 숙박, 음식점업이 22개월째 전례 없는 장기 불황을 겪고 있는 것으로 나타났습니다. 22 months, that's almost 2 years.
Yeah, for almost 2 years, the service industry, especially its core in the restaurants and hotel businesses, have been slumping, meaning they've been in recession. It's receding, right? Because the economy is largely made up of output in the goods and services industry. We're looking at just the services industry, and of that, what makes up the core of that industry is hotels and restaurants. And according to Statistics Korea, they started measuring this sort of data back in 2000. So for about a quarter century now, what's known as the production index in this sector stood at 103.8 in February. That's down 3.8% from a year earlier, and it's the lowest since the COVID pandemic during March of 2022. So the service industry really hasn't been able to recover from its COVID slump.
I wonder why that is, because I would have thought, we'd see a big recovery by now.
Well, I would imagine that domestic demand is still very low. People are still not really opening up their wallets. Inflation is high as well.
That's a good reason, yep.
The first thing people usually sort of tighten their budgets on is eating out and going to hotels, which is a luxury, right?
Yes, absolutely. Normally you do that with your disposable income.
Exactly.
I was going to say dispensable.
Right.
But and when you don't have much of that, then the numbers are going to go down.
Right. So it's a larger indication of how the economy is doing as a whole as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, we could say key sector, but the word used here is core sector.
Yeah, we talk about the core, right? The core of your body is
Yeah.
sort of your torso, your sort of your abdomen and your back area. But a core part of a sector would be the nucleus of it, right? The 핵심. It's a group of industries that are foundational to that sector. So when we're talking about the service industry, the core is sort of the restaurant and hotel sectors.
Yeah, exactly. And we talk about the core of an apple.
Yep.
Which is like the center where the seeds are.
Yes.
Right? So it's something that's really central, yeah?
Right. You see it in comics a lot, where if someone eats an apple, all that's left is the core. Right? The core of the earth is supposedly molten gas.
Yeah,
right?
that's what they say.
No one's ever been there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
C-O-R-E, core. It's something that's really, really central. And it could be literally in the center, or it could mean that it's very, very important. 여기서는 핵심 산업이라는 뜻으로 core sector. Now, this is a difficult verb. We're going to look at this next word here. It's to be mired, or, to feel mired.
Yeah.
What does this mean?
Yeah, it's interesting how you described it as to be mired, because it's
Right.
Often used as an adjective, in adjective form. You can mire something, meaning causing something to become stuck
Right,
in
right.
like mud, but it's often used in sort of the adjective, the passive, is it the passive form?
Yeah.
So when you're involved in something, sort of a difficult situation, you're entangled in it, you're embroiled in it, that means you're mired in some sort of challenge.
Stuck. That's a really good way of thinking of what being mired is.
Yeah.
So, you can't do anything. It's a very difficult situation. 그래요. 뭐 어딘가에 좀 꽉 막힌 상황이 되는 거겠죠. 뭐 궁지에 몰린다든지 이도 저도 못하는 상황이 됐다든지. 그럴 때 you're trapped, you're stuck, you're mired. M-I-R-E-D.
Yes. So it could be, like you said, literal or figurative in I'm mired in so much work right now that I can't go out, for example.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, here we're looking at the figures, which continue to be quite low.
Yeah.
And so it's a sort of bad situation that you're stuck in.
For the service industry, which is continuing to be mired in this slump, in this recession.
All right. Let me read the headline again. Hotels and restaurants, core sectors of the service industry reliant on domestic demand, have been mired in a record 22-month recession, according to data from Statistics Korea. Now let's move on to the next headline.
The Trump administration's revocation of hundreds of international student visas has triggered a frantic scramble, with many students forced to leave the U.S. within days after abruptly discovering their visa cancellations through the federal system or unexpected messages.
미국 트럼프 행정부가 수백 건의 유학생 비자 취소 조치를 단행함에 따라 비자 취소 사실을 연방 시스템이나 예상치 못한 메시지를 통해 갑작스럽게 통보받은 많은 학생들이 며칠 내로 미국을 떠나야 하는 상황이 되면서 혼란이 가중되고 있습니다.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're well aware that if you want to study in a foreign country as a foreigner, you need to have a visa.
Yeah.
Now, what's very controversial right now with the U.S. Trump administration is that hundreds of students are being forced to leave immediately, and they're not getting much time to get ready to leave. And so there's this, what's described as this frantic scramble to understand what's happening. But some of these are being challenged in the courts, but it's all part of the Trump administration's sort of controversial stance or position on immigration and just entering and leaving the U.S. They're not making it easy.
They're not getting a lot of prior notice, as you said. And it's not like you can leave within this semester or anything like that.
No.
It's now.
A lot of times it's immediate. And there have been some high-profile cases of one student from Columbia University, I think it was, where he was deported for participating in pro-Palestinian protests. And some of the reasons could be something like that, something politically related, but others are connected to some things very minor, like a dispute with a roommate or an off-campus traffic ticket that a student may have incurred as reasons for canceling their student visa.
Yeah. Their visas have been revoked.
Yep.
If something is revoked, it's cancelled, basically.
Right.
And so there's this frantic scramble going on.
Yeah, so if something's happening frantically, it's distressed.
Yeah.
It's chaotic, right? Frenzied in a way,
It's
and
kind of
so
정신없어.
yeah,
right?
there's no planning or anything like that. And if there's a scramble for something, a scramble is when you move kind of hurriedly, similarly in a clumsily type of way, and you jostle and get pushed around possibly. So basically, it's describing a frantic scramble is something that's not really planned out and chaotic.
Yes, absolutely. chaotic라는 게 핵심 표현이 될 것 같아요. 굉장히 혼란스럽다. frantic라는 것 자체도 굉장히 정신없이 움직이는 것을 묘사하고 있고 scramble은 우리 scrambled eggs처럼 어떤 이제 질서가 없이 그냥 이렇게 저렇게 움직이는 거기 때문에 두 개 다 사실 굉장히 혼란스러운 이미지를 떠올리게 하죠.
Yep.
그럴 수밖에 없습니다. 왜냐하면은 갑자기 이제 유학생들이 이제 비자 취소됐습니다. 다시 본국으로 돌아가세요. 그러다 보니까 어떻게 그러면서 좀 정신없는 상황이 네, 지금 나오고 있는 것 같아요.
I think it best describes the situation right now in the U.S. Where there are reports also of people just being deported. Legal U.S. residents and citizens also being deported right now as well. So there is this sort of mass scramble of people trying to interpret and understand the administration's policies.
Yeah, exactly. So everything is happening quite abruptly.
Oh, yeah. So if something's abrupt, it means something's happening all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, without any prior notice a lot of times as well.
갑자기, abruptly라고 합니다. 자, 그리고 이제 이런 사전 예고가 많이 주어지지 않는 상황이다 보니까 아까 얘기했던 there's not much prior notice or advance notice 이런 표현도 쓸 수가 있겠죠. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. The Trump administration's revocation of hundreds of international student visas has triggered a frantic scramble, with many students forced to leave the US within days after abruptly discovering their visa cancellations through the federal system or unexpected messages.
With Easter just around the corner and egg prices in the U.S. stubbornly high, the internet has offered up a host of alternatives, including influencers dyeing everything from marshmallows to potatoes.
부활절을 앞두고 미국에서 달걀 가격이 떨어질 기미를 보이지 않자 인플루언서들을 중심으로 마시멜로나 감자 등을 달걀처럼 색칠하는 다양한 대안들이 인터넷에서 제시되고 있습니다.
Yeah, Easter is this coming Sunday now,
the
right?
20th.
The
this
20th,
year. Yeah.
okay. And Good Friday is the Friday before that,
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yeah, that's
did
right.
Did you do this when you were young? Did you paint eggs?
I did.
You did?
Did you?
We tried.
Okay.
Yeah, they
at
never
school,
came out.
Oh, at school, the teachers would bring eggs and they would, let us paint them, and so we would have decorated eggs all across the foyer in the school, and yeah, that's what we would do.
And do you do like Easter egg hunts
Sometimes
and things like that?
we didn't do that at school. That was more sort of a, something you would do at home or
Right.
at your friend's house.
It is
Yeah,
a religious day as well.
Easter
right?
itself is religious,
Right.
yeah. But I think,
Exactly.
the Easter egg decorating thing was just sort of universally done at schools
Yeah.
in the UK at least.
I prefer getting the chocolate.
The chocolate
The
eggs.
Easter
yeah.
eggs,
Yeah.
of course. But of course, this year it's getting a lot of attention in the
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
U.S. because egg prices have become this sort of status symbol of rising prices right
Yeah,
now in the
yeah.
U.S. They're still very high. I know it's dipped a little bit, but people are getting creative,
Mm-hmm.
and usually you see this on the internet with influencers, and they're
right.
what they're doing is they're cutting out egg shapes out of cardboard and
Mm.
wrapping them in foil to resemble a real egg. Also, you can buy these kits that are flying off the shelves, apparently, that you can design and make your own eggs as well. So, again, in sort of a crisis situation with prices this high, people are coming up with alternative ideas.
Exactly. So just to explain to our listeners who are not familiar with this culture.
Sure.
서양에서는 부활절이라는 이 날짜부터 좀 설명을 드리자면은 정해진 날짜가 있는 건 아니고요. 항상 이맘때쯤에 이제 부활절은 일요일, 그리고 이제 그 전에 금요일은 Good Friday라고 해서 크리스천 데이이기는 하지만 종교를 떠나서 그냥 서양에서는 약간 크리스마스처럼 셀러브레이팅
Yeah.
하는 그런 날이에요. 크리스마스만큼 크진 않지만
Yeah.
그래도
So they have religious origins, but they're non-secular. I think that's what
That's
they
right.
say, right?
Yeah, that's right. Non-secular means it's not based on one religion.
Right.
그런데 특히 초등학생들 같은 경우에는 서양에서 이스터쯤 해가지고요. 달걀에다가 페인팅을 한다든지 이렇게 예쁘게 그림을 그려서 학교 복도에다가 쭉 이렇게 비치를 해놔요. 그러면은 이것도 하나의 데코레이션처럼 굉장히 예쁩니다. 근데 요즘에 달걀 가격이 너무 비싸니까 미국에서 달걀 대신에 마시멜로 아니면 또 뭐였죠? 아까 포테이토, 감자 뭐 이런 거 쓴다고 하고 그리고 그 외에도 뭐 달걀 모양 초콜릿들도 있으니까 이런 것도 요즘에 잘 나갈 것 같아요.
Yeah.
네, tell us more.
Yeah, well, I had never understood the mascot for Easter is the Easter bunny.
bunny.
Right. And
Yeah.
I never understood the connection with eggs.
Yeah, I don't know.
But because I
그러게요.
don't, yeah. I guess no. Do they lay eggs?
It might have something to do with, again, the chocolate company because
Possibly.
they have this bunny
Right.
and they make Easter eggs. 그래요. 그래서 이제 그런 원래 뿌리를 떠나서 약간 이제 이스터 하면은 이스터 토끼를 떠올리는 뭐 저기 영어권 국가 어린이들도 많이 있을 것 같아요.
Right.
그만큼 좀 즐거운 날입니다.
Yeah,
이스터는.
it is.
네.
For these Protestant sort of dominant countries, especially.
That's right.
Like the UK, Canada, for example. So there are what they call a host of alternatives, like
Yes.
potatoes, rocks. A host of something would be a lot of something.
rocks as well.
Yeah.
바위도 그냥 돌멩이 같은 거 중에 좀 이렇게 약간 달걀 모양 비슷한 돌멩이들을 찾아서 페인팅 해가지고 데코레이팅을 하는군요. 이렇게 많은 대안들이 나오고 있다라는 뜻으로 there's a host of alternatives.
Yeah. EBS has a host of programs for you to learn English and other things.
And a host of hosts.
A host of hosts as well, yes.
자, 그래서
That's true.
많은 다수의라는 뜻으로 a host of 요거 다 같이 붙여야지만 많은이라는 뜻이 되죠. host라는 단어 자체의 의미는 또 따로 있지만 네. 자, 그다음에는 a lot of people either painting their eggs or dyeing these alternatives.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, when you dye something as a verb, D-Y-E, that means you're changing its color,
Yeah.
right? Usually using like a mixture. You can dye your hair,
I was going to
obviously.
say, have you ever dyed your
I've
hair?
never dyed my hair before. No, this is all natural.
Yeah.
People dye other things. You can dye paints
Sure.
as well, right?
Yep. Clothes,
Clothes,
t-shirts.
yes.
Yep.
Tie-dye in the 60s was very popular, right? With hippies.
염색하는 거 dyeing이라고 하는데요. D-Y-E 이렇게 써요. 그래서 dyeing and D-Y-E-I-N-G 이렇게 씁니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. With Easter just around the corner and egg prices in the US stubbornly high, the internet has offered up a host of alternatives, including influencers dyeing everything from marshmallows to potatoes. Let's move on.
Dozens of small earthquakes have been detected near Alaska's Mount Spur, raising concerns it may be edging closer to an eruption, with the Alaska Volcano Observatory reporting 55 quakes in the past week.
알래스카 스퍼 산 인근에서 수십 건의 소규모 지진이 발생해 분화가 임박했다는 우려가 나오고 있는 가운데 알래스카 화산 관측소는 지난 한 주 동안 지진이 55차례 발생했다고 보고했습니다.
Yeah, so this increased seismic activity near Mount Spur suggests that maybe magma is rising there. It's causing a lot of stress and cracking, leading to these earthquakes. And residents near the city of Anchorage, which is a big city in Alaska, have been told to stock up in case of an emergency on necessities like food, supplies for babies and pets, etc., and also buying masks and things like that, because Anchorage isn't in the actual impact zone. But of course, if it were to erupt, these clouds of ash are likely to blanket the city and its residents. But 55 quakes in the past week alone.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it began in April of last year. And it's been increasing from an average of 30 per week to about 125 per week in early October.
Wow.
And it hasn't, the crater actually hasn't erupted in 5,000 years, but a side sort of crater erupted just 30 years ago.
그래요. 그래서 지금 우려가 있는 거죠. 예, 아무래도 작은 지진들이 계속 관측이 되다 보니까 자, 이런 지진 활동 영어로는 seismic activity라고 합니다.
Because of course Alaska is also in that Pacific ring of fire, right?
That's right. Now, these earthquakes, the small earthquakes, have been detected.
Yeah, that's what seismologists do, right?
Yeah.
They study earthquakes and they uncover or identify. They detect like a detective.
Yeah, absolutely. 뭔가 탐지하고 찾아내는 것을 detecting이라고 하는데요. 이 수동태로 something has been detected. 그러면 이게 발견됐다, 이게 관측됐다 이런 의미가 되겠고요. And now people are saying, oh, are we edging closer to an eruption?
So here it's used as a verb, right? But if you get closer to an edge, you are edging closer. So you're gradually moving or advancing toward a certain goal or a certain position or point, getting kind of closer to it. It implies that slow but steady sort of progress.
Yeah, absolutely. 자, 동사로서 쓰이는 to edge. EDGE라는 것은 조금씩 다가간다라는 의미가 있습니다. edge라는 명사는 무언가의 끝이라는 뜻이지만 동사일 때는 그 뭐 끝으로 다가간다 이런 이미지 상상하셔도 되고, 예, 그러니까 이 어떤 상황을 이제 연상을 했을 때 그 상황에 가까워지고 있는 거거든요. 여기서는 화산이 폭발할 수 있는 그런 상황에 가까워지고 있다. It's edging closer to an eruption이라고 표현했습니다. Here's the headline again. Dozens of small earthquakes have been detected near Alaska's Mount Spur, raising concerns it may be edging closer to an eruption, with the Alaska Volcano Observatory reporting 55 quakes in the past week. Now let's move on to the final headline.
A Chinese woman who sued her former employer for firing her over leaving work 1 minute early 6 times in a month has won her case. With the court ruling, she is entitled to compensation.
한 달 동안 6차례 걸쳐 1분 일찍 퇴근했다는 이유로 해고당한 중국 여성이 전 직장을 상대로 제기한 소송에서 보상금을 받아야 한다는 판결을 얻어내면서 승소했습니다.
Yeah. Obviously, for us working in radio, this would not apply because if we were 1 minute late or leaving 1 minute early, there'd be a lot of dead air. And our listeners would be very worried, I'm sure. I do have a question, though, Sue.
Yeah.
So if this was going through the internet a lot for a couple of years ago, but if work starts at 9 a.m., what time should you arrive at work?
Ah, okay. If it starts at 9?
Yes. Officially, your workday starts at 9.
For a sort of,
office office job, yeah.
I mean, I've never had an office job, but I guess, I don't know, 8:40?
Ah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do people say?
Well, there's no correct answer
Right,
here.
right.
But I think the general thought was a lot of bosses and business owners would like to see their workers arrive at least 5 or 10 minutes early.
Okay.
Get prepared, get their
Right.
coffee, get settled, so
Sure.
you can start working exactly at 9.
Yeah. Oh, so I was thinking a little too
Yeah.
far ahead then.
Yeah, but I think a lot of sort of younger workers, millennials,
They're
might
like
say
8:59.
that if I start work at 9, I arrive at 9,
9.
and that's what I'm getting paid for.
Yeah.
So there are two sort of trains of thought.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
this. Yeah.
And if they're going to be so strict about like leaving 1 minute
Yeah.
before the end of the work day, then I think they should be a bit lenient about, when you start. If you
Yeah.
start 5 minutes earlier,
Right.
you should leave 5 minutes earlier then, I guess.
Well, that was the issue in this case here in China, where
Yeah.
this woman took her employer to court, saying that she should be compensated,
Yeah.
for, even though she left maybe a minute early for 6 times in 1 month. The courts actually sided and agreed with her, ruling that despite her knocking off 1 minute earlier than the work schedule, it's not reasonable to conclude that she, quote, got off early. So
Right.
the company didn't give her a warning
Sure.
before they sacked her, and they didn't urge her to correct her behavior or anything like that. So she's entitled to all this compensation.
그러게요. 참 희한한 그런 케이스인 것 같은데, 6차례나 퇴근을 1분 일찍 했다라는
Yeah.
이유로 회사에서 해고를 했는데, 그 6번 동안 아무런 경고나 고지가 없었대요. 회사 측에서. 그냥 체크만 하고 있었던 모양이죠.
Maybe, yeah, someone
아니면 뭐
was.
나중에 봤다든지 뭐 그래서 보니까 6번이나 5시 59분에 퇴근을 했어?
Yeah.
6시까지 해야 되는데 뭐 이런 식으로 했던 게 아닌가 그냥 상상을 한번 해보는데 그래서 이 여성이 나한테 아무것도 뭐 알려주지도 않았고 이것은 너무 부당하다.
Yeah.
해가지고 결국은 승소를 했습니다.
Yeah,
그래서
maybe they had a
보상금 좀 받게
timestamp.
되죠.
Did they have a timestamp? Who knows?
I
Where
guess,
you
yeah.
clock in and
yeah,
clock
because
out.
people
right?
use their cards these days,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's an electronic,
Yeah.
time
There's a
print
record.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Record, yeah. 그래요. 자, 케이스라는 게 소송인데 승소했다. 영어로
Yeah.
뭐라 그러죠?
Yeah, when you win a case.
You win a case.
Yeah, you're successfully arguing it
Yeah.
in sort of a legal setting.
그래요. 이 경우에는 특정한 케이스니까 win the case라고 하면 되겠죠. 그다음에 이제 패소하면은 뭐라 그래요?
You lose a case?
lose.
Yeah.
그래요. win하고 lose 쓰네요.
Yeah.
이기다 지다. win a case, lose a case. 이렇게요.
Yeah.
자, 그다음에 you're entitled to
Yeah,
something.
so when you're entitled, it means you believe that you deserve sort of these privileges, special treatment.
Yep.
If someone's spoiled, maybe they come from a rich family and they demand that they get good service wherever they go,
Yeah.
that means they feel like they are entitled to that.
뭐뭐 할 자격이 있다. be entitled to something.
Yeah.
아니면 뭐뭐 받을 자격이 있다. 이런 거여서 이 여성 같은 경우에는 보상금을 받을 자격이 되는 것으로 이렇게 판결이 났습니다. 네, 그런 이제 재판 trial case에서 승소. She won the case and the court ruling, 그러니까 판결에 의하면 she is entitled
Yeah.
to compensation.
Yeah, so in this case, to be entitled to money by the court,
Yeah.
this is strictly from a legal setting.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a judgment, and the court said you are entitled to this money. But oftentimes, entitled these days is used in sort of a negative
Yeah.
sort of
In a very
situation.
subjective
Yes.
entitlement.
Yes, when someone behaves or acts rudely, sort of in a public setting,
Right.
saying at a restaurant, for example, I wanted to talk to the manager.
Yeah.
How come my soup is cold? How come my food is like this? That means that person feels like they're privileged and they deserve something better.
So you would say they are acting as if they're entitled?
Entitled, like
Entitled.
they are deserved of something better than what they were given. You know.
쉽게 말하면은 뭐 갑질하는 거예요.
Yes.
예, 그래서 나는 더 많은 거를 뭐 받을 자격이 있어라고
Yeah.
스스로 아주 그냥 주관적인 판단으로 이렇게 생각을 해서 행동할 때 they are acting entitled
Yes.
or they think they are entitled 이렇게 표현을 하죠 영어식으로는. 그런데 이제 지금 우리가 헤드라인에서 보고 있는 entitled는 주관적인 게 아니라 정말 객관적으로 판결문에 나온 거니까
Yeah.
이걸 받을 자격이 있습니다.
Yeah.
라는 의미가 되겠죠.
Yes, exactly.
자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A Chinese woman who sued her former employer for firing her over leaving work 1 minute early 6 times in a month has won her case. With the court ruling, she is entitled to compensation. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Shane Ham.
Korea's exports of information and communication technology products rose 9.4% year on year in March, driven by strong sales of chips and handsets.
우리나라 3월 정보통신산업 제품 수출액이 반도체와 휴대전화 판매 호조에 힘입어 전년 동월 대비 9.4% 증가했습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, exports were up and imports were also up by 6.8% on year, but that means that we still had a trade surplus of $8.37 billion last month. We're seeing semiconductors being exported at a higher rate, up 11.8% on year. I guess with AI being all the rage,
Yeah.
people are looking for semiconductors. And we've seen computers and communications equipment jumping by 28.1% as well. Mobile phones are going up by 14.5%. What's interesting is where we're shipping.
Yeah.
So if we look at China and Hong Kong, the shipments actually fell on year by 12.2%, whereas when it comes to Vietnam and Japan, that rose in both countries. For Vietnam, 14.6%, for Japan, 3.3%. The US was up by 19.4% on year. Not sure whether it'll be the same this month with the tariff wars going on. And the EU exports, they were down by 2.8%. So we're seeing a lot of shifting going on, and it feels like this year the global economy is going to be shifting up and down and all over the place.
Yeah, it's quite volatile as it is already with the recent announcements. But as you said, these are the stats for the month of March.
Yes.
And we're exporting more to America, to Japan, to Vietnam, a little less to China and Hong Kong. But overall, when it comes to ICT shipments, they're up.
It was a good month, a very good month, and cross fingers for April.
Okay, so when we say strong sales, what are we talking about?
Meaning they were very good. We talk about a strong performance, for example, of a singer. What a strong performance.
Yeah.
Meaning it was excellent. It was strong as in it was doing very well. So when we talk about strong sales as opposed to weak sales, it means a lot was sold. So selling well would be another synonym for strong sales.
그래요. 강하다, 약하다의 의미로 strong and weak를 쓰죠. 그러다 보니까 여기서는 strong sales라는 게 판매 호조의 의미가 있습니다. 우리가 또 언제 strong하고 weak를 쓸 수 있냐면은 커피 얘기할 때요.
Of course.
좀 진하다, 약하다. 이런 얘기를 할 때 영어로는 I like my coffee to be very strong. I like weak coffee. 이런 식으로 커피를 어느 정도의 농도로 에스프레소를 넣길 좋아하는지 설명을 할 수가 있습니다. 자, 그래서 뭐 힘세다 외에도 이렇게 strong이 다양한 의미가 있다는 거. 자, 그 다음에는 handset.
I don't actually use this term in my ordinary life, but you might hear it being used in the financial news and the trade news.
What is it?
It's referring to phones, basically. Things you hold in your hand, a handset. As opposed to if you're a gamer or your children are gamers, they may have a headset, something they wear on their head.
아, 그렇군요. 손에 잡는 것. 이 휴대전화를 얘기하는 거였군요. handset. 그리고 이제 뭐 헤드폰 같은 것들은 우리가 headset라고 부르고 좋습니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Korea's exports of information and communication technology products rose 9.4% year on year in March, driven by strong sales of chips and handsets. Let's move on to the next headline.
Ecuador's incumbent president, Daniel Noboa, has won re-election in a runoff vote, meaning he will now serve a full 4-year term.
에콰도르 대선 2차 투표 결과 다니엘 노보아 현 대통령이 재선에 성공하면서 앞으로 온전한 임기 4년을 정식으로 시작할 예정입니다. Now, he became president just under 2 years ago?
Yeah, November 2023 was when he took power. There was a snap election there, and we've just had another election here, which he won. However, his challenger, the left-wing Luisa Gonzalez, is not accepting the result and is claiming fraud. And we've seen this in certain countries when an election happens, then the loser steps out and says, I think something fishy went on here.
She wants a recount.
She does. However, Ecuador's National Electoral Council said it was a decisive win for Noboa, about 56% of the vote. Before the election, it was suggested from polls that it was neck and neck. So in any case, Noboa has won, and and he's focusing on his war on criminal drug gangs. He's focusing on young people, and we'll see what happens.
그래요. 자, 지금 현 에콰도르 대통령인 다니엘 노보아는 2023년 11월부터 대통령직을 맡게 됐는데 그때 당시에 전임자가 임기를 다 마치지 못하고 이제 노보아 대통령이 그 자리를 차지하게 된 거죠. 그러니까 사실 지금의 임기는 꽉 찬 4년 임기를 하고 있는 게 아닌데 이번에 재선에 성공하면서 이번에는 a full 4-year term
Yeah.
온전한 꽉 찬 4년 임기를 이제 시작하게 되겠죠, 곧. So tell us about this expression here. He's the incumbent president.
Well, we don't have this term in Korea because presidents only serve one term. An incumbent president is someone who's already served a term.
Okay.
So, for example, in the UK, we can have an incumbent prime minister. Tony Blair, when he went up for a re-election back in the early 2000s, was the incumbent candidate. It's the person who's already in the position.
We could talk about, former presidents and incumbent presidents in Korea too.
Yes.
Yeah, but as you said, because we only have one term,
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. I
Exactly,
guess.
because you're not going for re-election.
Okay, 그래요. 자, 그리고 이게 무슨 말이냐면은 현재 재임 중인이라는 뜻이 있어요. 그래서 incumbent president는 현 대통령이라는 뜻이 되겠죠. But I don't know if you use incumbent for other jobs.
Well, I think if it's elected,
Yeah.
then you can talk about the incumbent chair of the board or the incumbent head of the council or whatever it may be. When it comes to a position where you're going to be picked or chosen,
Yep.
where there's some kind of voting process, I think it's okay. For presidents as well, we don't normally use it outside of election time because
Yeah.
we just refer to the president.
Okay, so if someone is currently a teacher, you wouldn't say, this is my incumbent teacher.
No, because they haven't been voted into the position.
Right, exactly. So there's some sort of vote
Yeah.
or election involved.
Yeah, it's
normally.
going to be a position of office of some kind.
Okay, got it. 그래요. 그래서 보통은 이렇게 incumbent president라는 표현이 두 개가 같이 많이 붙어 다니죠. 그래서
네.
현 대통령이다. 근데 그 외에도 이렇게 선출된 직이고 현재 재임 중이고 그러면은 쓸 수 있을 것 같고요. 다음으로 이 표현을 좀 보고 싶은데 Noboa won the runoff vote on Sunday.
Yeah, this is another one I think unfamiliar in Korea and a lot of countries. Only some countries do this. France does this as well. It's when you have two votes, basically. You
Yeah.
have a first vote where you have many or several candidates, and then the top two will go into the runoff vote, and then only one person will win the election. So here, this is the system in Ecuador. They have their first vote where there may be, I don't know, a dozen or less or more candidates on the ballot,
Right.
and then when we get the final two, the top two, as it were, then they will go to a runoff vote.
네, 에콰도르에서 현지 시간 일요일 이 runoff vote가 진행이 됐는데요. 결선 투표라고도 하고 2차 투표라고도 볼 수 있습니다.
네.
그러니까 사실 1차 투표 때 확실히 누가 앞서갔으면은 거기서 끝나는 건데 동점이 나오면은 2차 투표로 가게 되죠. 그게 바로 이 runoff vote고 거기에서 이제 승리를 거머쥐면서 이번에 재선에 성공을 하게 된 에콰도르 현 대통령 또 이제 앞으로도 또 한 번 더 대통령을 하게 됩니다. 다니엘 노보아 대통령이네요. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Ecuador's incumbent president, Daniel Noboa, has won re-election in a runoff vote, meaning he will now serve a full 4-year term.
Chinese exports of a broad range of rare earth minerals, key to semiconductor and auto industries worldwide, have come to a screeching halt amid an escalating trade war with the US.
미국과의 무역 전쟁이 격화하는 상황에서 중국이 전 세계 반도체 및 자동차 산업의 필수 재료로 쓰이는 다양한 희토류의 수출을 중단했습니다.
No matter where you go, everybody's talking about tariffs. You can't get away from them.
And the trade war, the big trade war, is obviously
Yes.
between America and China.
Yeah, and so this all started April 2nd with Trump insisting that tariffs were going to go on everyone, but especially China. And then 2 days later, China ordered restrictions on certain goods. And these included 6 heavy rare earth metals, and you can only refine them in China, nowhere else, as well as rare earth magnets, and 90% of those are also produced in China.
So this is going to affect the whole world.
This is because now they're saying you can only ship these heavy rare earth metals and these special magnets with special export licenses. And if you're a car manufacturer or if you make anything with electric motors, so we're
Or
talking
semiconductors like Korea.
drones, robots, missiles, spacecraft, all of these use these kind of things. And so if you're not on good terms with China, if they're not willing to grant you an export license, your business could be in severe trouble.
Exactly. Well, it's a broad range of rare earths we're talking about here.
Yes, and broad means wide. BROAD. So we talk about wide ranging and we talk about a broad range. That has the same meaning here. So a variety, a various, a large amount of different things.
broad라는 게 넓다라는 의미가 있고요. 그래서 어깨가 넓을 때 I have broad shoulders 이렇게 표현을 할 수 있습니다. 그다음에 range라는 것은 여러 가지가 이제 있는 여러 다양한 것들이 있는 뭐라 그럴까요? 그룹 이런 건데 이제 broad range라 그러면 굉장히 많은 것들을 포괄하고 있다라는 뜻이고
Yeah.
a narrow range 그러면 몇 개가 안 돼. 이런 의미가 될 텐데 여기서는 a broad range of rare earth materials or minerals 이렇게 얘기를 하니까 희토류의 이제 다양한 희토류를 얘기하고 있는 거겠죠. Now what about come to a screeching halt?
I like to make a coffee shop come to a screeching halt when I say my order.
Okay.
I want a
Americano.
yeah, an ice Americano.
Sorry.
Everybody stops and goes, what has he just said?
Okay.
So a screeching halt is a very, very sudden stop. If you're a driver, you know that if you push the brake pedal too hard, your car will actually screech. It's
Yeah.
like a scream. There'll be this squealing noise. So a screeching halt is when there is that noise as you suddenly stop. So it's a sense of panic or emergency or crisis.
Yeah. I don't know if our listeners are familiar with trains coming to a screeching halt, but that's the image I have in my head.
Okay, yeah, because they have a very squeaky sound.
Yeah, from watching movies with trains in them, most notably The Railway Children,
Yeah.
and the train comes to a halt when the children go, stop, 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 and the train goes, and then it stops.
Yeah.
So that is a screeching sound.
Yeah, so it's a sound of panic, of warning,
Yeah.
and it's something that's stopping in an emergency situation.
그래요. 이 screeching이라는 게 이 끼익하는 소리예요. 그런데 언제 이런 소리가 나냐면은 급브레이크 밟았을 때 이게 나는 거죠. 차도 그런 소리가 나나요? 잘 모르겠어요.
Some cars,
그래요?
maybe old-fashioned cars. The other thing that makes a screech is birds.
Oh,
Some birds of prey will
Crows?
screech.
Oh.
Well, I think crows caw. Eagles will sometimes screech. Vultures might screech. There are some screech owls out there as well.
Alright. 네. 이렇게 뭐 독수리과의 그런 새들도 가끔 내는 소리 자체가 이렇게 깍깍 하는 이런 소리가 난다는 거죠. 그래서 screeching halt라는 것은 갑작스럽게 그냥 탁 중단해버린다. 이런 의미가 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Chinese exports of a broad range of rare earth minerals, key to semiconductor and auto industries worldwide, have come to a screeching halt amid an escalating trade war with the US. Let's move on to the next headline.
Germany's confectionery manufacturers have reportedly produced 240 million chocolate bunnies for Easter this year, a 5% decrease from 2024 due to soaring cocoa prices.
독일의 제과 제조업체들이 올해 부활절을 앞두고 생산한 토끼 모양 초콜릿이 2억 4천만 개라고 발표한 가운데 이는 코코아 가격 급등으로 인해 작년보다 5% 감소한 양인 것으로 알려졌습니다. So Easter is just a few days away now.
Yeah, but you're going to have to pay more or search harder when it comes to getting your chocolate bunnies, at least in Germany.
Tell us about that as well. So in many Western countries,
Yes.
people like to have Easter bunnies. I don't
Yeah.
think we have that culture in Korea.
No, Easter bunnies and Easter eggs are the two things.
Yeah.
I think because it's all about rebirth and spring. You see bunnies frolicking in the spring, and they're sort of an image of that time of year as well. And they're also very cute, cuter than an egg.
They are. 우리는 달에 토끼가 살고 있다라고 하잖아요. 전혀 무관하긴 하지만 서양에서는 부활절 하면은 또 토끼를 연상을 하거든요. 왜 그런지는 모르나 동서양에서 다 이 토끼에 대한 그런 좋은 마음이 있어서 문화 속에 들어간 게 아닌가
Well,
이런 생각이 들어요.
I think if you go back thousands of years, it will go back to superstitious beliefs that the rabbits heralded spring, in the same way that the sound of the frogs or the sound of the insects indicate a seasonal change in Korea. I think the rabbit's arrival may well be a reason why we celebrated them.
그렇군요. 봄을 알리는
네.
그런 상징이군요. 자, 그래서 보통 이제 이스터 하면 이스터 eggs, 그다음에 이스터 bunnies 이런 걸 가지고 축하를 하고 서로 선물도 주고받고 이럽니다.
It's just an excuse to eat chocolate,
맞아요.
but it's expensive, and this is the big issue.
초콜릿 버니를 근데 독일에서 작년보다는 좀 덜 만들었군요.
Yeah, it's been just over a year now. Last year, in the first few months, we had cocoa prices across the world quadrupling because of decimated harvests in West Africa due to a virus. And so the German confectionery industry have said that they're making 5% less bunnies than last year.
Yep.
Half of them to be sold in Germany and the other half going around the world. And they cost more than other chocolate bars anyway, but that means we're going to be paying more out of pocket for Easter bunnies, costing to 2 to 3 times as much as similar chocolate products. So if you're looking for bunnies, be prepared to open your wallet, or even be prepared to go home empty-handed because they could be sold out.
아, 그래요. 참고로 bunny는 아기 토끼예요. 맞죠?
Well, yes, but it's also a
그냥
nickname like a
닉네임인가?
doggy or a pussy,
그렇군요.
kitty. Yeah, because we have Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is not a kid, Sue. He's an adult.
그러네요. 원래 토끼는 rabbit지만
Yeah.
nobody says Easter rabbit.
No, we say Easter
it's
Bunny. I think if we're getting specific, you'd say kit for a rabbit's
그래요?
baby. Yeah.
그렇구나. 네. 제가 잘못 알고 있었네요. 전 지금까지 버니가 아기 토끼인 줄 알았는데 버그스 버니는 아기가 아니니까 바로
No.
이해가 되네요.
He's old enough to eat carrots.
닉네임이다. 이렇게
Can,
이해하면
can I
되겠고.
just say also, rabbits don't eat carrots. That's
don't?
Bugs Bunny's fault.
They
Bugs
don't?
Bunny was doing an impression of a film star
No, they
back in the
do.
1940s, and he was eating a carrot just like that film star would be
But I-
chomping on a cigar.
I gave some
Oh, no.
rabbits carrots when I went to a
No,
farm.
they can eat them, but
Yeah.
it's not part of their normal diet.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
we
know
were
that.
fooled by Bugs Bunny.
I see. Okay. Well, let's go back to this story. And it says that Germany's confectionery manufacturers are making less chocolate bunnies. What's a confectionery manufacturer?
Willy Wonka. That's a confectionery manufacturer.
yeah.
It's someone or some company that makes chocolate and or sweets, or as Americans call them, candy. Making sweet little treats. That's confectionery.
네. 과자 제조를 하는 회사. 그런 confectionery manufacturer라고 하겠죠.
Though they wouldn't make cookies.
아,
And this is where the difference in language comes along. Because in
okay.
Korean, gwaja can also refer to little snacky cookie things.
그렇군요. 그 초콜릿이
Chocolates and candy.
초콜릿과 사탕을
네.
만드는 그런 제조업체를 confectionery manufacturer라고 하고요. 그 다음에는 soaring prices.
Like the screeching eagle, they go up and up and up. If we have soaring prices, they're going up very high.
네, 굉장히 빨리 치솟는 모습이죠. 그래서 soaring prices라는 것은 치솟은 가격을 말하는데 코코아, 영어로는 cocoa, 코코아 가격이 많이 올랐기 때문에 독일에서 이번에 초콜릿 토끼 생산 자체를 작년보다 많이 하지는 못했다고 합니다.
Hopefully the prices of bunnies will bounce back.
네, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Germany's confectionery manufacturers have reportedly produced 240 million chocolate bunnies for Easter this year, a 5% decrease from 2024 due to soaring cocoa prices. Let's move on to the final headline.
Northern Irish golfer Rory McIlroy has won the 89th Masters with a 4-foot birdie putt in a sudden death playoff, completing the career Grand Slam and solidifying his status as the greatest player of the post-Tiger generation.
북아일랜드 출신의 골퍼 로리 마클로이가 제89회 마스터즈 대회에서 연장전 끝에 4피트 버디 퍼트를 성공시키며 우승했습니다. 이로써 커리어 그랜드슬램을 달성한 맥일로이는 타이거 우즈 이후 최고의 골프 선수라는 입지를 굳히게 됐습니다. Tell us more.
This has been a long time coming, 14 years pretty much. And he's only the sixth player to do it. 6 men, and also he's the first European. We had Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Gary Player. He'd already won the US Open, the Open, and the 2 US PGA Championships by the end of 2014, and then spent the next 11 years trying to win this
Wow.
to get the Grand Slam. He won the Masters. It was a tense victory because he was in this sudden death playoff with Justin Rose last Sunday, but he managed to sink this 4-foot birdie putt in Augusta, and he's got the Grand Slam. So congratulations to him.
Absolutely. 자, 이 그랜드슬램이라는 게 Masters, PGA, US Open, and the Open Championship 요 4가지를 다 달성했을 때 그랜드슬램이라고 하고요. 이렇게 한 선수의 커리어에서 그것을 다 달성했을 때는 Career Grand Slam이라고 한답니다. 자, 그런데 굉장히 아슬아슬한 게임이었어요, 어제. There was a sudden death playoff.
Yeah, nobody died here. But it is a term we use in sports when it comes to the end of a game of some sort, whether it be football or golf, and there's a tie.
Yeah.
But one team or one person has to win. So it's basically the next person to score a point, or the next person to get a basket, the next person to score a goal will be the winner.
네. 동점일 때 우승자를 가려야 되는데요. 그럴 때 단판 결승을 해가지고 우승자를 정하는 것을 sudden death라고 표현을 하고요. 그다음에 playoff라는 표현이 여기 붙어서 단판 결승 경기란 뜻이 되겠습니다. And what about solidifying something?
If you solidify something, you make it more solid, meaning you make it stronger. And in this case, it's his reputation for being one of the best golfers in the world.
네, 무언가를 굳히고 확고히 하는 것을 solidifying이라고 하고요. 자신의 신분, 골퍼로서의 신분, 그 status, 그러니까 solidify가 됐다. 그러니까 career grand slam을 얻고 그다음에 post Tiger Woods generation의 최고의 선수라는 그런 입지를 굳히게 된 거죠.
Yeah, only took him 11 years to get there.
Okay. That's short, is it? I don't know.
I don't know. It must have been very stressful.
It must have been. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Northern Irish golfer Rory McIlroy has won the 89th Masters with a 4-foot birdie putt in a sudden death playoff, completing the career Grand Slam and solidifying his status as the greatest player of the post-Tiger generation. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Paul Matthews.
Korea's car exports rose 1.2% year on year in March, surpassing $6.2 billion, the second highest March figure on record, driven by growing demand from Asian nations, according to the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy.
3월 국내 자동차 수출액이 아시아권 국가들의 수요 증가에 따라 전년 동월 대비 1.2% 늘어난 62억 4천만 달러로 나타나면서 역대 3월 수출액 중 2위를 기록했다고 산업통상자원부가 발표했습니다.
Yep.
Tell us more.
Yeah, so the value of outbound shipments of automobiles came to $6.24 billion last month. It's up 1.2% from a year earlier, and this is according to data from the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy. And it marked the second consecutive month of increase and the second highest export value ever for any March. But in terms of value, exports fell 2.4% on year to 240,874 vehicles. They said the export value of eco-friendly cars declined 3.1% on year to $2.02 billion in March. In terms of volume, however, sales advanced 5.8% to over 68,000 units. By region, exports to North America fell 8.4% on year. Exports to the EU decreased 3%, but exports to Asian countries surged 61.8% to $660 million, and those to the Middle East rose 21% to $490 million.
아시아권 국가로 수출한 차량이 가장 많았군요. 그리고 그 이제 퍼센티지로 봤을 때 좀 증가했다 이런 의미가 되겠고,
Yeah.
미국으로 수출하는 자동차는 8.4%나 줄어든 모습이어서 사실 이제 앞으로 또 관세 부과가 되면은 더 많이 줄어들 수도 있겠다는 좀 우려가 나오고 있습니다. 네, 퍼센티지로 봤을 때 미국 8.4% 줄어들었고 EU 3% 정도 줄어들었다고 하고요. 이제 아시아 국가를 상대로 하는 자동차 수출은 61%.
Yeah, it increased quite a bit. Yeah.
네, 굉장히 많이 늘어났네요. 자, 그러면 이 표현은 좀 보겠습니다. On record.
On record. So when something is on record, it means that it's been officially measured and officially noted. So it's been recorded somewhere.
On record. 그러면 지금까지 기록된 것 중에 그러니까 역대 이런 의미로 볼 수 있겠죠.
Yep.
역대 3월 수출액 중에서 2위다라는 뜻으로 여기서 뭐라고 했냐면은 this is the second highest March figure on record. 자, 그리고 growing demand. What's that?
Right. So growing demand means that there's been an increase in demand. So it refers to a situation where the desire and willingness of consumers to purchase a particular good or service has been increasing over time.
증가하는 수요가 되겠죠. 말 그대로 하면은. 근데 이거를 이제 좀 자연스럽게 그냥 수요 증가 이렇게 표현할 수도 있습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Korea's car exports rose 1.2% year on year in March, surpassing $6.2 billion, the second highest March figure on record, driven by growing demand from Asian nations, according to the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy. Now let's move on to the next headline.
Young job seekers in the country are facing the toughest labor market in over 12 years, with employment among people in their late 20s dropping more sharply than during COVID-19 amid a shrinking economy, fewer job openings, and a growing preference for experienced hires.
국내 20대 후반 인구의 취업자 수가 경기 위축과 일자리 감소, 그리고 경력직 선호도 증가로 인해 코로나19 때보다 더 많이 줄어들면서 청년층 고용 상황이 12년 만에 가장 큰 폭으로 악화된 것으로 나타났습니다. This is bad news.
Yeah, it's really worrisome, isn't it? So this is according to Statistics Korea, and they say that employment among people aged 25 to 29, so those are in their late 20s and actively probably seeking jobs.
Yeah.
They said that it fell by 98,000 in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period last year, and it's the largest drop since the third quarter of 2013. And it's also the ninth straight quarter of year-over-year job losses for this age group.
I suppose one reason could be the actual size, the population of
Yes.
the people. That's
Yeah.
also, getting smaller.
Right. And of course, they are keeping that into account.
Yeah.
So they're saying that this decline is persisting even when they are taking into account the shrinking size of this youth population. So while the number of people in their late 20s fell by around 69,000, the labor force, or those working or actively looking for work, dropped by 85,000.
Okay, so there's actually still quite a sizable number of
Yeah.
young people who are unemployed.
Yeah, still actively looking for work, right. So unemployment rose with an additional 13,000 young people counted as officially jobless, and the unemployment rate climbing 0.6 percentage point. One clear sign of the worsening job market is the number of online job postings, and they say that it is in free fall. The hiring slowdown cuts across almost every sector. Job ads in the business support services have plummeted nearly 90% since 2020. Education is down 50%, and even manufacturing, which is a traditionally stable field for young job seekers, they saw postings fall more than 20%.
아까 그 표현이 좀 흥미롭네요. 그 온라인 job postings, 온라인상으로 구직 공고들이 is in free fall, 자유낙하를 하고 있다.
Yeah.
그만큼 이제 뚝뚝뚝뚝 떨어지고 있다 이런 얘기겠죠. 그래서 구직 그런 이제 구직 포스팅도 없고 그러다 보니 또 구인 포스팅이 되겠네요.
Yeah, yeah.
잘못 말했네요. 구인 포스팅이 많이 줄어들고
Yeah.
그러다 보니까 또 구직자도 또 많이 없고 여러 가지 이유로 인해서 20대 후반에 지금 이제 취업을 못한 사람들이 상당히 많다 이런 얘기가 되겠습니다. 자, this is tough.
Yep, it's tough.
If we say it's the toughest, what does that mean?
It means it's the most difficult, maybe the most brutal, the harshest conditions, the most challenging conditions that this age group is having to face in terms of seeking jobs or getting jobs.
tough라는 게 여러 가지 의미가 있는데요. 여기서 말하는 거는 힘들다라는 의미예요. 그래서 제가 it's really tough라고 했을 때도 힘들구나 이런 의미였고 it's the toughest는 이제 최상급이니까
Yep.
가장 힘든이라는 뜻인데 뒤에 붙은 단어가 labor market입니다. 노동시장이 지금까지 본 것 중 지금 한 12년 만에 가장 힘든 상황을 보여주고 있다 이런 의미인데 우리가 사람한테도 가끔 굉장히 터프해요
Yeah.
라고 하는데 그때는 힘들다는 뜻이 아니죠.
No.
뭔가 좀 강하다 이런 의미가 있는 것 같아요.
A strong person is a tough person, right?
So it's a little bit different in that case.
Yeah. And you can also describe, like, for example, this chicken's really tough.
Yeah.
And that means
Totally.
it's very difficult to chew. It's
Not soft.
Not soft, yes.
Yeah, 맞아요. 고기가 좀 질길 때, 그럴 때 그 식감이 고기가 이제 tough하다라고 해요. 그러면 이게 좀 이렇게 부드럽지가 않고 이렇게 질길까. 반면에 이제 정말 먹자마자 입에 녹는 그런 고기들 있잖아요. 그럴 때는 it just melts in your mouth.
Yeah,
이렇게
melts in
표현할
your
수
mouth,
있겠죠.
yeah.
네. 자, tough의 뜻이 이렇게 다양합니다. 그다음에 preference for something.
Preference for something. So when you have a preference for something, that means that you just like it better. So it's a greater liking for one alternative over another or others.
무엇에 대한 선호, 무엇을 더 선호하는 것, 그것을 preference for something이라고 하는데 여기서 experienced는 잘 아실 거예요. 경험이 있는, 경력이 있는 hires. hire가 이렇게 명사로 쓰이고요. 여기서는 이제 역시 구인이라는 의미가 있습니다. experienced hires, 경력직 구인, 그런 이제 일자리. 그런 것들이 더 많아지다 보니 이제 신입으로 들어가려고 하는 사람들한테는 굉장히 불리한 거죠. 자, 그래서 일자리를 뜻한 단어가 여기 참 많이 나왔습니다. 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Young job seekers in the country are facing the toughest labor market in over 12 years, with employment among people in their late 20s dropping more sharply than during COVID-19, amid a shrinking economy, fewer job openings, and a growing preference for experienced hires.
6 women, including pop star Katy Perry, have safely completed a journey to the edge of outer space and back on a rocket owned by Amazon co-founder and commercial space flight entrepreneur Jeff Bezos.
팝스타 케이티 페리를 포함한 여성 6명이 아마존 창업자 제프 베이조스가 설립한 우주 기업 블루 오리진의 우주선으로 대기권 경계까지 다녀오는 우주 비행을 마쳤습니다. Tell us more.
I cannot say space flight for some reason today.
It's hard to pronounce.
Yeah, so these 6 women, they include, of course, pop star Katy Perry, there's TV host Gayle King, and Jeff Bezos' fiance Lauren Sanchez. They completed a brief space flight launching from a Texas ranch. The capsule soared to the edge of space, the Kármán line, where the crew experienced 3 minutes of weightlessness before returning safely to Earth. And they say that this marked the 11th human flight for the program. And Oprah Winfrey attended to support King, who was initially hesitant, but ultimately...
They're best friends,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, inspired by the experience. Perry described the trip as the highest high, likening it to meditation and a spiritual awakening. And, it was an all-female crew, and some hailed it as a symbolic moment. But there were some critics who questioned its relevance amid, we do have a lot of global issues going on, saying that it might have been a little bit gluttonous.
그래요. 여성 6명이 이렇게 갔다 왔습니다. 이렇게 6명의 여성이 로켓을 타고 이런 우주여행을 한 것은 우리가 전례가 없죠. 그 다음에 또 11분 동안의 여정, 어떻게 보면 짧았다고 볼 수도 있겠지만 아주 또 상징적인 그런 의미가 있었고 케이티 페리가 조금 전에 말한 것처럼 너무나 황홀했다. 이렇게 소감을 밝히기도 했고 apparently she sang Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World while she was in orbit. And of course, she has the pipes, so I'm imagining everyone else enjoyed her little performance.
Of course.
그 게일 킹은 아시는 분들은 아시겠지만 미국 방송인이고요. 오프라 윈프리의 베스트 프렌드로 또 굉장히 유명합니다. 그래서 아마 오프라 윈프리가 그래서 응원하러 왔었나 봐요.
Yeah.
잘 다녀와라 이러면서. 자, 어디까지 다녀왔느냐? They went to the edge of outer space.
Yes, they went to the edge of outer space. So when we say the edge of something, it's the outside limit of an object, an area, or surface. It's a place or part that's furthest away from the center of something. So if we say it's the edge of outer space, it's the outside limit of outer space.
아, 그렇군요. The edge라는 것은 어딘가의 끝, 경계니까 여기서 outer space, 우주 대기권,
Yeah.
대기권 경계까지 갔다 왔다. And then we have this word entrepreneur to describe Jeff Bezos.
Right. Entrepreneur. It's a person who organizes and operates a business. Usually we describe entrepreneurs as people who take on greater than normal financial risks in order to organize and operate a business.
사업가라는 의미이긴 한데요. 보통 좀 모험적인 사업을 하는 경우에 entrepreneur라고 하고 아마존 같은 경우는 역사가 워낙 기니까 그냥 아마존 CEO, 아마존 co-founder 이렇게 표현을 하면 될 것 같은데 이제 Blue Origin 같은 경우에는 그래도 좀 신생
Yes.
기업이라고 볼 수 있겠죠. 아마존에 비하면은.
Yeah.
그리고 역시 굉장히 큰 모험이고요. 이 자체가.
Space travel, yeah.
맞아요. 그래서 아마 Space Flight Entrepreneur라는 표현을 쓴 것 같습니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. 6 women, including pop star Katy Perry, have safely completed a journey to the edge of outer space and back on a rocket owned by Amazon co-founder and commercial spaceflight entrepreneur Jeff Bezos. 제가 아까 궁금했던 거는 케이티 페리가 왜 자신의 노래를 부르진 않았을까? 그래도 이제 선배 가수를 좀 존중해주는 차원에서 또 어울리는 노래니까 Wonderful World 불렀나 봐요.
Yeah. Well, and I guess, if you go up into space and if you're looking at Earth, maybe that song would come to mind.
Yeah. 맞아요. 그 순간적으로는 정말 What a Wonderful World가 딱 떠올랐나 봐요.
Yeah.
근데 만약에 거기서 roar 같은 거 I'm gonna roar 이렇게 불렀으면 어땠을까 하는 생각도 잠시 해봤습니다. All right, let's move on to the next headline.
A new study has found that combining a reduced calorie Mediterranean diet with regular physical activity can promote weight loss and help prevent bone density loss in older women.
노년 여성들이 저칼로리 지중해식 식단과 규칙적인 신체 활동을 병행할 경우 체중 감량이 촉진되고 골밀도 감소는 예방된다는 새로운 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. All right, tell us more.
So Mediterranean diet, there are a lot of advantages to
Yeah,
it. So, and
it's
this
well
is
known, yeah.
an added advantage that it helps to, I guess, help you keep your bone density, which is something that a lot of women or men, I guess, worry about as you age because you lose muscle and
Yeah.
bone density.
Especially after, like perimenopause
Yeah.
or once it's all over
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
then your bone density
It decreases.
decreases,
just
yeah.
just naturally.
Yeah.
Right. So that is something that a lot of people worry about. So they say that older women who stayed on this reduced calorie Mediterranean diet walked and they did resistance training for 3 years and they improved their bone density, especially in their lower backs. And this is according to a new study. So women in this study, they ranged in age from 55 to 75. And they were able to prevent bone deterioration that typically occurs during weight loss because when you lose weight, you do those BMI checks.
Yeah.
And it tells you you've lost weight, but you've also lost a lot of muscle mass and you've lost a lot of bone density as well. But when they maintained this reduced calorie Mediterranean diet, they found that the bone density loss didn't occur.
Yeah.
So this was according to this research that was published on Tuesday in the journal JAMA Network Open. And what's new in this study is the finding that combining a well-balanced, reduced-calorie Mediterranean diet with physical activity can prevent bone loss in older women even while they are losing weight. And that is, I think, what a lot of people are trying to do. So this is what a lot of people are saying, maybe this is the diet that older women should try to imitate.
Yeah. So what are we supposed to be eating? Loads of olive oil?
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
Mediterranean diet, it features very simple plant-based cooking with much of each meal focused on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans and seeds with a few nuts, and a heavy emphasis on, as you mentioned, extra virgin olive oil. So fats other than olive oil, such as butter, are consumed rarely, if at all, and sugar and refined foods are avoided.
Well, it already sounds very healthy.
Yeah.
그래요. 이렇게 설탕이나 정제된 음식들은 제외가 되고요. 그리고 지방은 오로지 올리브 오일로 섭취를 하게 되고 그 외에는 채소, 과일, 여러 가지 견과류 그리고 콩류가 또 많이 섭취가 되는 게 보통 말하는 이 지중해식 식단이라고 합니다. 이거를 꾸준히 좀 식단을 유지하게 되면은 여성들에게 특히 좋을 수 있다고 하니까요. 네, 저도 좀 참고를 해야 되겠습니다.
And it has other advantages, like I mentioned before. You know, it's been linked to reductions in the risk for breast cancer, dementia, depression, diabetes, high cholesterol, and even memory loss. So, yeah, maybe we should incorporate some of the. I mean, olive oil. I think a lot of people have been incorporating it into their diets.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, physical activity is a term used here. Let's look at that.
Yeah, physical activity. So it refers to any bodily movement that uses energy produced by your skeletal muscles.
그래요. 그러니까 이렇게 지중해식 식단과 그다음에 규칙적인 신체 활동을 병행하면은 굉장히 좋다라는 얘기였는데 신체 활동을 영어로 physical activity라고 하고요. 체육이라는 과목을 영어에서는 PE라고 하거든요. 근데 PE에서 그 P가 바로 physical입니다. Physical education. 이게 외국에서 말하는 체육이에요. 그 다음에 bone density.
Bone density. So density refers to the amount of mineral content like calcium and phosphorus within a given volume of bone tissue.
Right. 골밀도, bone density가 되겠습니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. A new study has found that combining a reduced calorie Mediterranean diet with regular physical activity can promote weight loss and help prevent bone density loss in older women. Let's move on to the next headline.
Actor Robert De Niro is set to be awarded the honorary Palme d'Or at the 78th Cannes Film Festival, with the tribute set to take place during the opening ceremony on May 13th.
배우 로버트 드니로가 오는 5월 13일에 열리는 올해 제78회 칸 국제영화제 개막식에서 특별 헌정 무대와 함께 명예 황금 종려상을 받게 될 예정입니다.
Yeah, so not only will he be awarded this honorary Palme d'Or, he's also going to hold a master class the following day. So De Niro, he's had a long history with the festival. He called Cannes a place that brings people together through storytelling. I think his most recent appearance at Cannes was for Killers of the Flower Moon, and he served as jury president 14 years ago. So he joins past honorees who's received the honorary Palme d'Or, like Meryl Streep. There's also Jodie Foster. This year, Juliette Binoche will lead the festival jury following Greta Gerwig, marking the first time two women have chaired consecutively. The Cannes chief has also hinted at a very strong lineup of American filmmakers in the upcoming official selection.
그래요. He's going to be awarded this prize. To be awarded.
When you are awarded something, it means that you are given something as an official sort of prize in this case. But it can also be that you are awarded something as an official payment or compensation as well.
그렇죠. 어떤 상을 받았을 때 be awarded라고 할 수도 있겠고요. 그 다음에 이제 보상을 받았을 때도 역시 be awarded compensation 이런 식으로 표현을 하는데 그때도 awarded라는 동사를 쓸 수 있습니다. 자, tribute는 어떤 뜻일까요?
A tribute is an act, statement, or gift that is intended to show some sort of gratitude, respect, or admiration.
그래요. 뭐 찬사나 헌사, 감사 이런 의미를 다 가지고 있습니다. 자, 그러면은 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Actor Robert De Niro is set to be awarded the honorary Palme d'Or at the 78th Cannes Film Festival, with the tribute set to take place during the opening ceremony on May 13th. And that's it for the headlines this morning.
S&P Global Ratings has maintained the nation's long-term sovereign credit rating at AA with a stable outlook, unchanged since 2016, citing active policy efforts that helped contain domestic political uncertainties.
국제신용평가사 스탠더드&푸어스는 한국이 적극적인 정책 대응으로 정치적 불확실성을 억제했다며 우리나라의 장기 국가 신용 등급을 2016년 이후 동일한 AA로 등급 전망도 안정적으로 유지했습니다. 영어로는요, 이렇게 A가 2개 들어갈 때 AA, A가 3개 들어가면 AAA 이렇게 부르고 Standard & Poor's Credit Ratings는 AAA도 있지만 그다음에 이제 플러스가 들어간 레이팅스도 있죠. So we have AAA, AA, just A, and then, triple B, double B, B, and triple C, and R. But then we have the pluses as well in between. So it's
AA minus, AA plus.
Plus and minus as well. Okay, so tell us more.
Yeah, so as an example, South Korea was actually at AA minus back in 2016, and that's when they were upgraded to AA, and they've been there ever since.
Yep.
And Korea's got some outlooks that are looking better. Perhaps South Korea's per capita GDP was forecast to rise to nearly $41,000 US in 2028 from below $35,000 in 2025 as it is right now. So they are expecting some future growth over the next 3 years for the average household.
Right. Well, this AA rating is a sovereign credit rating. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, a credit rating first is how likely you are to be able to repay a loan.
Yeah.
So your credit rating is basically how much confidence the bank has in lending you money. And the better your rating is, what will often happen is that you'll have a better interest rate.
Sure.
So because you're more likely to pay it off, so the lender is not going to be as scared to give you that money. Now, it's also a sovereign credit rating that we're looking at. And when we're talking about the word sovereign, you often think of this as kings and rulers and people that have their ability to say, this is what I'm going to do because I have sovereign power. I don't have to check with anybody.
Right.
It's just my decision to make.
그래요. 자, sovereign이라는 거는 여기서는 국가라는 뜻인데요. 원래 sovereign은 국가 내에 어떤 절대 권력자를 얘기하기도 합니다. 그래서 왕이나 여왕이 있는 국가 같은 경우에는 그 왕과 여왕을 또 sovereign이라고 부르기도 하는데요. 여기서 나라니까 국가의 credit rating, 신용 등급. 우리 신용카드는 영어로 뭐라 그러죠?
Credit card.
credit card. 네. credit가 신용이에요. 그래서 credibility라는 게 그런 이제 믿을 수 있는지 신용, 신뢰감 이런 의미를 가지고 있죠. So the higher your credit rating, the more credible you are. 그만큼 돈을 돌려줄 것이라는 믿음이, 신용이 있다라는 의미가 되겠죠. 자, 그 다음에 stable.
If something is stable, then it is safe. And I think of things like a stool or a chair.
Yeah.
If I'm going to stand on top of it, I want that to be stable so that I am safe. Whereas if it is unstable, then it might rock. And if I'm standing on it, then I might fall. So it can be dangerous. So for something to be stable, you're talking about something that is safe.
형용사 stable이라는 것은 안정적이다라는 의미가 되겠습니다. 반대말은 unstable, 불안하다. 이거는 물건뿐만 아니라 우리 심정에 대해서도 똑같이 쓸 수 있고요. 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. S&P Global Ratings has maintained the nation's long-term sovereign credit rating at AA with a stable outlook, unchanged since 2016, citing active policy efforts that helped contain domestic political uncertainties. Let's move on to the second headline.
A new market research report shows that since 2023, South Korean content has been the second most watched on the global streaming platform Netflix, trailing only the US as a leading global content provider.
글로벌 스트리밍 플랫폼인 넷플릭스에서 2023년 이후 한국 콘텐츠가 미국 콘텐츠에 이어 전체 시청 시간 2위를 기록했다는 시장 조사 결과가 나왔습니다. And you know that Korean content is big on Netflix because there's actually a separate section, isn't there? Like Korean drama, Korean movies.
That's right.
Yeah.
And certainly, over this is measuring since 2023. So obviously included in this is
Squid Game.
Squid Games
Yeah.
and, some of the other very popular shows that have been produced in Korea as of late. And, when I first saw the headline, I was like, well, Squid Games, so obviously. But at the same time, what I didn't consider is that it's ahead of Britain, as an
Yeah.
example. I mean, I thought, I could see it being ahead of countries like Japan, but you would think like, the North American population or the English-speaking population of the world would be obviously attracted to U.S. the first, but then Britain as well, because there's a lot of great content coming out of there. But Korean content is actually watched more than even British content.
Yeah. Recently there was When Life Gives You Tangerines,
Yeah.
which blew up. And then, there's been loads of different Korean TV series and dramas that have been streamed on Netflix. And people around the world, they're really enjoying it.
The cooking show, Culinary
Yes.
Class Wars as well,
Yeah.
has been very popular as well. I have a cousin that's actually visiting from Canada right now. And when he got here, we're talking about TV shows and stuff. And
Yeah.
the first thing he asked me was, did you see Culinary Class Wars? And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, like everyone's seen that. And I was actually surprised that he was watching that as well from
It was big
overseas.
in America, and Canada, I guess, too. You should maybe take him to one of the restaurants that the
That's a great idea.
chef owns.
Come to think of it, yeah.
자, 우리 이제 OTT라고 많이 해요. 우리나라에서는 그 over the top라는 이제 technical term을 써가지고. 근데 사실 외국에서는 OTT라 그러면 아마 잘 모를 거예요. 뭐 OTT
I'd have no
what?
idea what that is.
Streaming platform,
Yes.
streaming service 이렇게 표현을 하죠.
Yeah, and a streaming platform is just that. It's a platform that allows you to watch something, usually over the internet, that's watching something in real time, or
Right.
that you're able to watch a video. And if you think of streaming, like the word in there is a stream, right? And a stream is like a river or a creek. It's water that's flowing constantly, nonstop. And I think in the same sort of a feel with a streaming platform, you're able to watch a video that's nonstop. It's not interrupted
Yep.
by internet lag. So when you watch something, you're able to watch it continuously without a break.
그렇죠. 영어로 이제 스트리밍 플랫폼이라고 한다는 걸 기억하시면 되겠고요. 뭐 넷플릭스 말고도 여러 가지가 있는데 이 뉴스에서는 구체적으로 이 플랫폼을 얘기하고 있는 것이고, it's like the new broadcasting, medium now that everyone is using, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, in the internet age, a lot of media, traditional media, has been replaced. Even, we're on radio, but we're also streaming
Yeah.
services on the internet as well.
네, 그래서 우리 이 정통 방송이 나가고 있다라고 할 때는 we are on air라고 하지만 이런 스트리밍 사이트나 인터넷으로 할 때는 we are streaming 이렇게 표현을 해서 좀 다른 동사를 쓰기도 합니다. 자, 그 다음에 trailing이라는 표현이 있어요. So South Korea trails only the US.
That's right. And a trailer is something that follows behind, or if you're trailing, then you are following behind
Yeah.
something. And there are something that we call trailers that you attach to the back of a car. And it can be, like a pickup truck will have like sort of something that can carry a load, like a dump truck, or it can even be like a camping trailer as well that you can hook up to the back of a truck or something to go camping, and you sleep in the camping trailer.
Yeah.
But the key is that it's something that follows the main vehicle. So when it's saying here that it is trailing only the US, well, the US is leading, they're first, and then behind them, trailing them, is Korea.
네. 뒤쫓다 이런 의미가 있기 때문에 1위는 미국이고 2위는 한국이다라는 표현을 South Korea trails only the US. 자, 왜 only가 들어갔냐면은요. 미국만 뒤따르고 있다. 그러니까 2위라는 얘기예요. 그걸 이렇게 표현을 하는 거죠. 다른 나라들이 앞에 여러 개 있는 게 아니라 딱 한 국가만 있는데 그 나라만 뒤쫓고 있다. So South Korea is second place, basically. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A new market report shows that since 2023, South Korean content has been the second most watched on the global streaming platform Netflix, trailing only the US as a leading global content provider.
With less than a month until Australia's federal election, housing affordability remains a top concern for voters as soaring home prices, surging rents, and a shortage of social housing have made buying or renting unaffordable for the average Australian.
한 달도 채 안 남은 호주 연방 총선에서 주택 위기 문제가 유권자들의 최대 관심사가 되고 있습니다. 이는 치솟는 주택 가격과 계속되는 임대료 인상, 공공주택 부족 등의 이유로 일반 호주 국민이 집을 사거나 임대하는 게 어려워진 최근 현실이 반영된 것으로 보입니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so the Australian housing has become much, much more expensive. They're saying that it's the second most expensive place to live now when it comes to purchasing a house. It's listed at about $1.2 million, or they're calling it a billion won in Korean money. So certainly it is becoming more and more expensive. People are having to move further and further away from the city, somewhat like Seoul, I guess you could say, but I guess they're saying to an even more extreme extent.
Wow, that's why it's a top concern.
Yes, and when something is a top concern, it is something that people are thinking about or worried about, or it's on their mind.
Yeah. 가장 관심이 많은, 가장 우려가 되는 것을 it's a top concern이라고 표현할 수 있겠고요. 그 다음에 the average person은 무슨 뜻일까요?
The average person is, I guess, the person that is not necessarily just the majority, but like a normal, typical person. When you think of of an Australian, what do you think of?
Yeah.
You're not thinking about the richest person. You're not thinking about the poorest person. Thinking about just a normal, typical person. And, you know, I think a long time ago, I was talking about averages before because we talk about averages in three different words.
Oh no, you're going to get into the math
I'm
side
going to
of
go
this.
back into the exact just to
Okay.
to remind people what the differences are with
Okay.
average. So the mean is the average of all things. So if you had like five numbers, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you add it all up and then divide it by 5 because there's 5 different numbers. So then the average would become 2, I believe. Or maybe 2.5. But anyways, it's kind of like everything added up and then divided. Is going to be the mean. The median is if you were to line everything up, then it would be whichever number is in the middle. So if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it would be 3 because 3 is the middle number of the 5 numbers. And then the mode would be the number that comes up the most. So if you had like 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, then the mode would actually be 2 because there's 2 2s. So you could think of, when you think of the average Australian or the average person, you could actually be thinking more about the mode. So just like the most common person among there. Because if you were to add up, based on how much everyone earned, then that figure might be too high or too low to represent, who truly the typical person is that you're thinking about. So I think when we're talking about the average Australian, I think in this particular case of the averages, I think we're actually thinking about the mode, not the mean or the median.
Why do you do this to me, Jason? 수학적인 얘기로 조금 들어갔어요. 제가 최대한 빨리 좀 넘어가고 싶습니다. 예, 그러니까 지금 아까 얘기했던 median 같은 경우에는 중간값 완전히 가운데 있는 값을 얘기하는 거고, 그다음에 보통 우리가 말하는 mean이나 mode는 이제 평균인데, 이제 뭐 산술 평균이 될 수도 있고, 뭐 기하 평균이 될 수도 있고, 아 정말 왜 저렇게 힘들게 하시나요, 선생님? 여러 가지가 있는데 지금 말하는 이제 average가 가장 일반적으로 쓰는 평균이라는 단어다. 이 정도로만 이해하시면 되겠고, 예, 수학을 전공하시는 분들은 더 잘 아실 겁니다, 저보다. 예, 아시죠? 자, 아이고 머리 아파라. 자, 그럼 다시 돌아오도록 하겠습니다. The average person은 그래서 보통 사람, 일반인이라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. With less than a month until Australia's federal election, housing affordability remains a top concern for voters as soaring home prices, surging rents, and a shortage of social housing have made buying or renting unaffordable for the average Australian. Let's move on to the next headline.
The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has proposed an airworthiness directive for more than 2,600 Boeing 737s after a passenger became trapped in a bathroom due to a broken door latch leading to a flight diversion.
미국 연방항공청은 최근 한 비행기 승객이 문 걸쇠 고장으로 기내 화장실에 갇히면서 회항하는 사태가 벌어진 후 2,600대 이상의 보잉 737 항공기에 대해 가망성 개선 명령을 내놨습니다. So because of this one incident, all these planes now have to have some sort of checkup done and money is going into it.
Yeah, that's right. 2,600 of them for this particular model of airplane by Boeing. It's their 737s. And a passenger, I guess, was trapped. And I guess this happens more than you would think. And when that does happen, then it can be dangerous for the person in there. If there's some turbulence, then obviously they're not wearing their seatbelt. So they considered it a safety hazard for a situation where it could have been avoided. So, it's because of the door latch that locks the door for the bathroom. And yeah, the fixing it, they're saying it could actually cost about $3.4 million in the end.
그러게요. 이 하나의 회항 사건으로 인해서 사실 굉장히 많은 비용이 발생할 것 같은데 안전을 위한 거니까 승객에게는 좋은 일입니다만 기내 이제 여러 가지 시설들을 확인해야 되는 시간적인 그런 번거로움은 좀 있겠네요. 자, 표현을 좀 볼게요. 이거 가망성 개선 명령, Airworthiness Directive. 이게 뭐예요, 선생님?
Let's look at airworthiness first. So, airworthiness meaning that it's worthy of being in the air or worthy of flying. So it's safe enough or it's able to fly. We're going to allow it to fly. We will hear probably a little more often than airworthiness, you'll hear seaworthy. And if something is seaworthy, then it is allowed to or able to float. So like a boat or a ship has been inspected and we'll say, okay, this can go ahead on a cruise.
감항성이라는 게 항공기가 목적지까지 안전하게 비행할 가능성을 얘기하고요. 또 다른 말로는 항공 내구성이라고도 할 수 있는데 이게 이제 선박이나 배에 대해서는 seaworthiness라는 표현으로 쓰는군요.
Yeah, and directive is sort of like a law or a rule or an order from an authoritative figure. So it could be a rule that has been made from the country in this particular case or from the aviation administration saying this is going to be the new rule that we're going to enforce.
네, 개선 명령을 영어로 directive라고 합니다. 비슷하게 생긴 또 다른 단어가 있어요. Diversion.
Diversion. It can be diversion or diversion. And this is something where you are normally going in one direction or have a destination in mind, but then you have to take a different path or move off course. You think of the word detour. Sometimes if you're driving, then maybe the road is blocked, so you have to go in a different direction or go in a different way.
Diversion. 네.
Yeah, we'll also hear it in movies sometimes as a distraction that you're trying to cause. So we'll say, okay, you cause a diversion so that, the police or security is occupied so we can do something to get away with something or to get past them.
네. 그러니까 여기서 말하는 거는 방향을 바꾸는 것인데 누구를 피하기 위해서 그렇게 할 수도 있겠고 여기서는 회항했던 것을 얘기하고 있습니다. 원래 길로 가다가 돌아서 이렇게 방향을 바꿨다. 그런 단어를 사용하고 있네요. Right, let me read it again. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has proposed an airworthiness directive for more than 2,600 Boeing 737s after a passenger became trapped in a bathroom due to a broken door latch, leading to a flight diversion. Let's move on to the final headline.
A colossal squid, the largest invertebrate on Earth, has been filmed alive in its natural habitat for the first time, marking a breakthrough in studying the elusive species, which until now had only been known from fragments found in whale stomachs, accidental catches by fishers, or specimens washed ashore dead.
지구상에서 가장 큰 무척추 동물인 남극 하트 지느러미 오징어가 자연 서식지에서 살아있는 모습 그대로 최초 촬영됐습니다. 이로써 지금까지 고래 뱃속에서 일부가 발견되거나 어부들이 우연히 포획한 경우 혹은 죽은 채 해변에 떠밀려오는 경우로만 알려졌던 이 미지의 종에 대한 연구에 큰 전기가 마련될 전망입니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so this is huge squids that you think of, and we've heard of, I think, giant squids before that have been filmed, but this is a colossal squid, which is a size even greater. So we're talking about something that can grow up to 7 meters in length and weigh up to 500 kilograms in weight. The one caught on camera, however, was not that large. It was actually only 30 centimeters in length. So it was a baby version of this colossal squid.
네, 콜로소 스퀴드가 바로 남극 하트 지느러미 오징어고요. 콜로설 오징어라고 하기도 한답니다. 우리말로도. 이제 대왕 오징어보다도 상당히 큰데 이번에 발견된 콜로소 스퀴드는 좀 작은 사이즈이긴 했지만 이 종 자체가 원래는 굉장히 많이 커진다고 하고요. Marking a breakthrough라는 표현을 좀 보고 싶어요.
Yeah, a breakthrough is something where if you're stuck on something or you're kind of like plateauing for a while and then you kind of take a level up. You're able to maybe get through a barrier or a door that you couldn't traverse before. So you've been stuck in this sort of plateau or a bit of a lull or a slump, and then you've broken through. You've been able to go through, and then the point at which you did that, you can mark that as a breakthrough. This was the point at which the breakthrough happened.
그래요. breakthrough라는 게 돌파구죠. 그러니까 큰 돌파구가 마련이 됐다. 즉 큰 발전이 있었다. 대단한 무언가가 발견이 됐다. 이런 의미도 있을 수 있고요. 여기서 이 오징어를 뭐라고 표현했냐면은 It's an elusive species.
An elusive meaning that it's very hard to catch or difficult to see or find. It's not readily available or it's just kind of, it's good at avoiding you.
맞아요. 붙잡기 굉장히 어렵다라는 뜻이 있습니다. 그래서 좀 도피적이거나 아니면은 교묘히 잘 빠져나가는 이라는 의미가 있는데요. 그만큼 포착하기 힘든 종이다. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A colossal squid, the largest invertebrate on Earth, has been filmed alive in its natural habitat for the first time, marking a breakthrough in studying the elusive species, which until now had only been known from fragments found in whale stomachs, accidental catches by fishers, or specimens washed ashore dead. Well, that's it for the headlines.